Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. And it's Wednesday, it's November 29th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And if you were looking for a chart lesson for Tuesday and you couldn't find it, that's because there wasn't one. I had some technical difficulties yesterday. My internet went down a little bit, and so that kind of put me behind. And then I finally got my internet up and going and got the video made. It was probably 6:30 last night, and I had about a 20-minute video, and for some reason the recording software crashed, and so it was late and I just wasn't in the mood to go back and rehash that whole thing over again, so I just didn't upload one yesterday. So apologize, but just was one of those days. So I did a quick test today, and everything's working properly. So we should have it. So this video should be fine now. I don't know what happened yesterday. It might have been some glitch in my computer. I don't know. But I checked everything out, and just all I did was reboot it, and everything seems to be working properly now. So, but it was a little bit confusing and a little bit frustrating more than anything to, do a video and then waste 20 minutes of your time, find out it's gone. So, especially when I hung around an extra hour or two to try to get it done. But anyway, I apologize. We're back on track. So let's talk about today's chart lesson. Really, this is we've really kind of been sideways here since 11 o'clock, 11:15 or so. Not much happening, but this morning we had a nice move up and then a really nice move down. Once you had this leg and we started lower, I'd look for a measured move, and you can see we went a little bit further than that. So that would have been my minimum target right there. You need to be careful when you come to this overnight low. Notice we bounced a few times before we finally pushed on down. But a lot of trades today in comparison to what we normally get on a day like this. So it's some good volume and all. Remember, we're actually been as high as 26, 34, 35. And even right now we're trading at 26.25, so we're 25 points above that 2600 level, which we just pushed through a day or so ago. And generally you come back rather quickly and test that. So this is a market that just keeps on going. It's been slow and methodical about doing it, but it just keeps going higher and higher. So don't ever underestimate this market, because who knows where it's headed. It was no time ago we just went through 24 and then we hit 25, and I think we went from 2500 to 2600 even quicker. So anyway, let's talk about the trades. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I want to get this one uploaded and completed and uploaded today, and get out of here at a decent hour. So when I came in, we were working up. Wasn't real strong at that point. You can see we had a couple legs up, but notice the low here, the overnight low, and then there's a first entry, and then there's a second leg up, and there's a second entry short. It fails and bounces right off what your suspected trend line. Nice bullish bar. You want to go long right there. Pulls back, makes a lower high, and goes higher from there. The reason I like this one, this is not a very good signal bar at all, but notice this swing low here, and then you get a first entry, second entry. So that's still a second entry, failed second entry short, and that's the first close outside this channel. And this is also a second entry long, even though it's not a good signal bar. So the reason I still like it with that weak signal bar is the failed second entry short. But notice that new high, pull back first entry, and then pull back. That's your second entry long right there. But if you're counting from the low, there's a first entry short and a second entry short, and it fails quickly and reverses. And so I like going long right there. And you wouldn't be looking for shorts right here. So no short setup. If we'd had a failure here, maybe, but we hadn't really had a break outside this thing, and now we got one. So we rushed to a new high, and look what happens here. This swing low is lower than that one, so this, you can count this as a new low. First entry short, second entry short. It's almost kind of a repeat of this pattern here. It's just a little tighter and smaller. And so there's a another failed second entry short. Again, not a great signal bar, but with a trap, we don't care. And off it goes again. And so now we got a break, and we got two almost measured legs up. I think the second leg might be slightly, yeah, you can see it's a couple of ticks, slightly larger by a couple of ticks, but that's close enough. That's two measured legs up to a new high, and then it reverses. Based on that, I wouldn't be trying to pick highs, but being that far away from that EMA, coming off that high, you might argue for that to, I mean, if you catch that, you catch the high of the day, so it might be, you know, and that's where a lot of times you do catch the high of the day on these reversals, but you got to be careful trying to pick tops. I'm just not crazy about it. Most people lose money when they do that, but you can see that's how far away we are, and we've been away from the EMA since back here at 8:30 or so, and here it is 9 o'clock almost. So we're overdue to come back. But anyway, we come back, we bounce once, you get a second entry long, it fails. Look at that big bearish bar, go short right there. There's your trap, and look what happens. Like you can tell, everybody had to exit now. All the people that got trapped here, and probably all the people that had built up a position here, they all have to exit. And man, they're all running for the door, and look at it go, boom, 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 boom. Then we're just kind of going sideways. You do get a close outside, two legs down to a new low, and then one more test. You really don't need to enter in this. It's a shame you got to miss this nice little move, but you just can't enter in that. So if you'd got an entry way down here at the low, maybe, but if you were going to enter anywhere, you might have entered here. But generally, you're better to wait on the higher low, and by the time that comes, it's pretty bearish. So, but you know, if you thought about it, you might enter there. It's not really, you can't really tell it's a range yet until you make that next high and then that next low. So you might have entered there long, but it's risky, just like it was up here. And you can see you probably would have gotten, you wouldn't have got out, and it would have come back and probably scared you to death, and you'd probably jumped out only to watch it go straight up. So I don't recommend that trade. But then we turn down, and again, there's a failed second entry short right here. Notice the new high, first entry, and then you get your second leg down, second entry. And it actually went higher and turned and went out the other side, but I don't want to go short right into that, even though it would have worked. If you waited on this big bar and went short, you'd have got burned. You probably wouldn't have got out before you wouldn't have got stopped out because it never made a new high, but I don't think I'm going to watch this thing push down here twice and then come back all the way back up and then hang on. So if you were patient, you got a nice entry right here. Notice that swing high right there. That's one, two test, two tests. So you test it twice, you get a big bearish bar right off that strong resistance. I like going short there. And you've cleared out the low here because you've pushed lower multiple times, so you know that's probably not in play now. This new low is what you're worried about, and you got plenty of room there, and it takes off. And then you get two legs back. There's not really a clear second entry here, but there's a move up, a move down, a second leg up. There's a hidden second entry there, and you get a bearish bar that confirms that trend line. That's really the third touch. I like going short right there off that trend line. That's a key entry point. Look at it go again. And then you just really don't get another chance. It never comes back to the EMA or the trend line, so you don't want to be entering down here. You do technically have a failed second entry long here, and if you had enough room, you might consider going short there. I'll make that one green. It is really your failed second entry short is right here, but you still could look at that on a bigger picture as a failed second entry long. I mean, not short. But notice you actually went higher there and then there. But this is actually one move down and a little double correction, and so this is really your second leg from here to here. And so you could look at that like a failed second entry long, and you might go short there. It would have worked, but only if you had enough room to get out and you wanted to be really aggressive. I just I just think you needed to let it at least come back to the EMA or the trend line really. And it does get back here, right here. But you really got all this sideways stuff, and you got some resistance right across there, some more resistance right across here. That's just a first entry coming off this low, and I'd really want to wait on a lower high here or a second entry or something before I got back in that. Your signal bar is not perfect. It's bearish enough, so that's not really a problem. I'm more worried about letting this correction play out, or getting a second entry, and you just don't get it there. It just continues to go higher, and actually you get your reversal pattern here. Notice how it pushes right on through and then comes back, and you get a failed second entry short here. Notice that new low, first entry, then you get your second leg, second entry, it fails. Look at that bullish bar. I like going long right there. And you get your close and your new high now. And then you can come back and you make a lower high right here. So I like that one, although it's not a perfect setup. It is a lower high. This one is almost, you could argue for that one to almost be red, but I'm gonna leave it green just simply because I would like to be counting off the low side and get a second entry short, and you don't get that. Now when it comes back here and makes the double test of that level and you get a nice bearish bar, I like going short now. And you're just trying to get out before you get down here. And by this time it's obvious this is strong resistance across here. And if it bounces off these lows again, you're probably going to want to go long. And guess what it does? It bounces right here. And notice that swing high, it's higher than that one. So you're counting over, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. Nice bullish bar. You got plenty of room to get out. Another quick, easy scalp. And that gets you into the 2 o'clock hour. If this would have been regular hours, even if you wanted to take a trade right here just after 2 o'clock, that would have been a nice entry right there because that's a failed break lower. And then notice you get a failed break higher as well. And there's 2 legs up there. So I wouldn't have a problem with you going long right there on that one. I probably wouldn't take anything after that though. I just don't like to trade after 2 o'clock. But you can see both of these would have worked out. This range is still in play. And you get a failure out the bottom and a failure out the top. And the reason I like to take these is because you often catch a important low. And if you were in this one, you'd have a runner most likely. And it might still be going and it might continue to go higher here. And if you got in the short here, your runner is still going at this point, and you might end up making a important high, and you may get another leg down like this. You don't really have a lot of time left, but that's what you're thinking when you enter those type trades. So, but anyway, that's what I saw today. And again, I hate we didn't have a chart lesson yesterday, but it was just not a good afternoon for me for whatever reason. But had two separate technical problems with the internet going down for an hour or so, and then my computer acting up. So I don't know if they were interrelated or separate issues or whatever, but the internet came back, and then I restarted my computer, and everything was working great. So and seems to be no glitches today so far. So hopefully we're back on track. I'll get this uploaded shortly, and we'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our week. It's hard to believe the week's almost over, but here it is. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for the day. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.